India's mega job crisis has always been a cause of concern, and it was worsened by the impact of COVID-induced lockdowns and industry closures. But now there's a massive recruitment push by the centre. Today, Prime Minister Modi announced that 10 lakh government jobs will be created by the government over a span of the next 18 months. The announcement comes as a relief to many, as the job market is already going through unprecedented crisis. Remember, according to CMIE data, between 2017 and 2022, labour participation rate in the country has dropped from 46% to 40%, with millions of people exiting the workforce. So what are the ramifications of this announcement made by the government today? Let's take it to our panelists this afternoon. Joining us, Sindhu Bharti K, Senior Research Analyst, Infinite Sum Modeling, and Nilanjan Banik, an economist who is joining us. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Ms. Sindhu Bharti, first to you, 10 lakh recruitments in 18 months. Where are these vacancies going to be created, or do they already exist?
Hello, Rohit, and hello, viewers. If I answer to your question, I see that there has been vacancies almost existing since even before the arrival of the pandemic, maybe dating it to 2017, 18, and so on. And I also see that these vacancies are, out of these vacancies that exist, more than 50% of them exist in the categories that are reserved for communities like OBCs, SCs, and STs. So I see it as a major boost to encouraging economic participation, the inclusivity, and the kind of accessibility that all of us often dream about and keep talking about. And moreover, as I always think that you can never multiply wealth by dividing it. What one person receives without working for, another person must work without receiving it. So that is the kind of belief that I have always been having within myself. So given that, I have always thought that a sustainable alternative to subsidies or to cash transfers, instead of doling out all of those, pushing employment, offering employment is a fruitful way to, or a sustainable way to achieving a constructive growth, I would say.
All right, Nilanjan Banik also joining us. Sir, Nitin Gadkari has tweeted a short while back saying that this move will not only boost the manpower in the government-related services delivery, but also inject efficiency and enhance productivity in the government administration. Do you welcome this announcement by the government?
Yeah, means any announcement is welcome, particularly because we are having a scenario where not too much of jobs are getting created. If you look into the local media report, you will find that daily less than 2% of the people who apply for jobs actually get jobs, And I will actually try to go back a little bit, which is, if you look into the job creation, typically it happens from the agricultural sector, manufacturing sector, and the services sector. Now, when Prime Minister Modi is talking about this 10 lakh job creation, ideally, I think he's meaning to create this job in the manufacturing sector. Now, most of the state government, as well as the central government, you will find lots of vacancies because their budget deficit is in a problem, And also from the perspective of the quality of jobs which are getting created. Many times we keep on hearing on newspaper saying that the PhD or even the postgraduate people are applying for peon type of position, class grade 4 types of jobs, And even if you look into what is happening across the economy, you will find that most of the jobs which are getting created are in the low skill type job. So because of which I see a problem, because income inequality in India is increasing by leaps and bounds, because India is now the second largest unequal economy in the world, where the millennials in India, they account for 54% of the national income. And just to give some comparison, in Japan, which is the most equal society in the world, the millionaire in Japan, they contribute only 20% of the national income. Now, this is worrisome because right now what is happening, most of the jobs are where they're getting created in the realm of what we call gig economy. All these Zomato, Swiggy, or Uber driver of the world, these are the
Yes.
people which is actually driving the job. And that is something what I was trying to mention in the very beginning, the quality aspect of the job, because India's per capita income is only 2,000
Quality of the jobs, yes.
Yes. And that is creating a huge unequal income distribution, because a high-skilled worker, the amount of money he or she is making
Right.
per hour is more than what maybe a janitor or a watchman or someone who are working in the agriculture, they are making, their monthly income is equal to
Yes.
equivalent to an hour wage rate for high-skilled workers in India. So yes, it's a welcome move that the Prime Minister Modi is talking about creating the jobs. And most of this job, my sense, is going to create in the infrastructure sector, because that is the sector which is where the government is really doing a good amount of work, with 31,000 crore of rupees being allocated towards building all this border roads and other roads infrastructure. And I think this is a good way, because the construction is also not doing that great, because if you see what is happening, agricultural laborers, earlier they were getting jobs in the construction sector, but now because of increase in the home loan or house loan rate, you will also find the demand for construction of the housing is falling. And therefore, this is a very welcome move.
All right, so lots of points made there, Nilanjan Banik. I'll come back to you. Let me just get back to Sindhu Bharti. Ma'am, there is also a question of the establishment budget, the wage burden of the government, which is likely to go up because of this. How do you read that situation? Will that be a problem?
Well, on your point on wage budget, yes, the government, this government has always been known for making out-of-the-box decisions and out-of-the-box moves, be it with the Gati Shakti or with the mission mode now, or you may take the previous schemes like Jan Dhan Yojana. This government has always been known for making out-of-the-box moves. So with a lot of, particularly post-COVID, with a lot of investments coming in, with a lot of push towards, like Dr. Nilanjan was talking about, a lot of push being created towards, pushing up the infrastructure, construction, and almost all of the infrastructure related sectors. I think, this is a kind of creating a virtuous cycle from employment to pushing it through output and to GDP. But because this particular announcement is more about creating jobs in the central government sector, I also see this might be in the defense, Home Ministry and the railways that have the largest number of vacancies as far as I have seen. So given that this is like, there are also reports that suggest that more than 50% of vacancies exist in SC, ST and OBC community categories. I'm sure this is going to be a major push to, promote inclusivity and accessibility to all.
Right. So you have mentioned defense and home. Nilanjan Banik is talking about manufacturing infrastructure sector. But, I was speaking to an economist earlier in the day. He pointed out 4 other sectors which we haven't spoken right now. So let's get your opinion on that. There's health, there's education, there's police and the judiciary, which he said has lots of vacancies, massive shortages there, and it's crying for more recruitment, those sectors. So is that also something to look at, Mr. Banik? Should the government go about this recruitment drive focusing on those sectors as well?
See, all these sectors that you mentioned, in particular the health sector, in order to produce a doctor, you will need at least 18 to 20 years of education. In order to produce a nurse, you also need around 16 to 18 years of education. Now, the question is, there is a demand, but do we have the supply? The answer is no. Because most of the doctors, or as we have seen during recent time, that our students, they have to go to the Ukraine for all, because they are not getting government seat to become medical doctors in India. Same is with the healthcare professional like nurse or paramedics. So what is needed before there is demand, of course, but what is needed? Are we creating environment to have enough of supply of this type of skilled labor? I'm using the word skilled because nurses, doctors are very much in demand at this point of time, and COVID have shown over and over again how much important they are from the particular group of the society. The second is, you mentioned about defense. Yes, we need a lot of people in defense, which may not be as much skilled, but then you also need that people have to be graduate, and just to give you some numbers, every year we have around 30 million graduates. We have around 1,000 universities in India. Out of that 30 millions, how many of them actually qualify for this written UPSC or defense NDS or CDS, combined defense service kind of exam?
Right.
You will find very less number of people. So I'm emphasizing over again the quality aspect of the education, which need to be brought forth. You also mentioned about the education or the
Yes.
university. There are lots of vacancies, and what the problem I have with the university system at this point of time is the curriculum is not designed in tandem with what the industry or the service sector wants. So there is a need for us.
Yes.
In some way, the national education policy is a welcome move, because they are now thinking of trying to handhold with some of the aspect that the industry want and try to remodel our curriculum so that the graduates, this 30 million odd graduates, which I just now mentioned, there will be more be more jobs for them, because the skill need to be matched between the demand and the supply, be it the doctors, be it the nurses, be it the graduate, be it in the army or defense, be it in any other sectors. So these are the things which you cannot do in a small period of time. It requires this type of skill development requires a little bit more than 10 to 15 years of continuous education and learning, So that is something the government needs to think about.
Yes. Right. Right. So in the defense, in fact, the government has just now announced this Agnipath scheme, saying that the employment opportunities will go up in the defense sector. Ms. Sindhu Bharti, the CMI had said that more than half of 90 crore Indians, especially women of legal working age, have stopped looking for jobs in the absence of the right kind of employment. There are promises and then there is reality. Do you think this government move will bring back the vigor in the job sector?
Yes, particularly during, I agree with everything that you have said, because particularly during COVID, when there was a crisis and when all of us were at home, a lot of women had to take a back step, resign, and then, particularly to take care of the families, the kids at home. So given that, I really think that this could be, a push to employing women more, because it is, I'm sure it's an overall boost, but particularly with women, I think this is going to be a major support as well. And because this is more in the central government, vacancies, I also think that this is also another move to make, the central operations efficient in accordance with the private sector. Public sector efficiency goes up when you inject fresh blood into the system, right? So I also think this is a move to, push more. So to push more people, to inject fresh blood into the system, and thus to push the efficiency of the public operations like railways, defense, healthcare. Dr. Nilanjan was talking about education.
Right.
So yes, I really think, given that NEP, National Education Policy, a lot of moves are lined up for implementation. I think this could serve as a prelude to what is going to come next. And I also see that a lot of investments have gone into improving healthcare infrastructure, educational system, railways, particularly with a lot of announcements coming up last week as well. So I think, overall, this could be a major move.
All right, Ms. Sindhu Bharti and Mr. Nilanjan Banik, thanks very much for joining us with your perspective on this big announcement by the government today to recruit so many people, lakhs of people in the next 18 months.